Hi everyone, today we're going to be going through a 2020 Senate race analysis, this time for the state of Kansas. This state right now, traditionally Republican state, it's a crowded field on both sides right now of the line. Right now, the incumbent senator in Pat Roberts is in fact retiring from his seat. That's left open the door for a crowded 2020 GOP field. There's also many potential high-profile Democratic congressmen and congresswomen who may or may not have won bids in 2018 for the House, but may in fact try to run for the Senate against the eventual Republicans. So, for me, the main wild card in this race for Senate is Mike Pompeo. So, Mike Pompeo, when you search Mike Pompeo on and you go into Google on the news, it says Politico, Pompeo leaves the door open to Kansas Senate run. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo not ruling out Senate run. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's mission, share America's something. Will Mike Pompeo run for office again? Pompeo on potential Senate run. I always leave open the possibility. There's a lot of rumors that Mike Pompeo is going to run for that Kansas Senate race. Just taking a deeper look on this Politico article that was released. Pompeo leaves the door open to Kansas Senate run, appeared to reopen the door to a Senate run, telling Kansas City radio station that he will always leave open the possibility that something will change. He'd previously ruled out, but that was before divisive former Kansas Secretary of State Chris Kobach launched his own bid last week. On Wednesday, it appeared Pompeo had stepped back from his original assessments. So it is interesting to see how it is. And McConnell has made clear that he wants Pompeo in the race, telling Politico that the former Kansas congressman is his first choice for the seat. I've said several times, I'm not sure the president agrees with this, that I'd love to see the Secretary of State run for the Senate in Kansas, but the filing deadline's not till next June. McConnell said last week about Kobach's entry into the race. So again, it is very interesting. It's gonna get interesting. And so we're just going to see whether Pompeo enters the race. But unlike McConnell, I happen to believe that it wouldn't necessarily be the best idea for Pompeo to jump into the race, because there's some Gallup polling. Yes, it is quite old, but it is the most recent polling that I can find. It says, quote, snapshot, Pompeo draws mixed opinions from Americans. And story highlights, 35% of Americans have a favorable view of Mike Pompeo, 38% unfavorable. So, again, not great news for Mike Pompeo there. But, again, Kansas is a red state, so you could argue that, it would be better in somewhere like a red state. Again, among Republicans, strong favorables there. Rex Tillerson had better favorables, though. So it is interesting to see all of these different numbers, but yeah, Pompeo could run. He's the big wild card in this race. If he does, he would be the favorite to win that nomination. But talking of the nomination, there's an open door for this nomination. On the Republican side, right now we already have Chris Kobach, who was the divisive person who ran for governor in 2018, narrowly lost that race to Jeff Collier, who obviously not running right now, or I guess it's potential. But there's just a laundry list of potential people who could run. You got Jeff Collier, you got Ron Estes, who's the 4th district member. You also got Lynn Jenkins. You got Wink Hartman, who ran for lieutenant governor in 2018. You got Roger Marshall. You got so many people who are running. Susan Wagle, who's like the head of the Kansas Senate. Kevin Yoder you also have. So there's just so many people who could run. And then in the Democratic primary, there's also quite a few people. You got a lot of these people who maybe narrowly lost bids for Kansas congressional race in the past, but they now see an opening here in that Democratic primary. So you have Sharice Davids, who right now is representing Kansas 3rd District. You also have Paul Davis, who's the former minority leader of the Kansas House of Representatives and also nominee for governor in 2014. We're going to skip over that person. Doesn't seem like a big entry into the race. However, she was recruited by Chuck Schumer. But again, we see someone like a Davis, someone like a James Thompson, who ran for Kansas 4th District in 2017 and 2018. You also have Brent Welder, who narrowly lost a primary. So there's a lot of people. It's a wide open field. There's going to be a lot of choice. But right now we see Mike Pompeo being the favorite in the GOP primary, even though he has declined. It says here potentially reconsidering, and with all of these rumors from Politico and from general news, we see this being wide open. So again, it's going to be very interesting. Just quickly on the incumbent's approval rating. Right now, the incumbent is Pat Roberts. Not a great approval rating. They're 37 to 35. So yeah, after taking into all of this information, some statistics, some other statistics, we're going to make a final characterization, and we see this one moving into the Republican column, especially if someone like a Pompeo runs, or if someone like a Chris Kobach runs and Democrats put up a strong candidate, someone like a Brent Welder or a Sharice Davids, I can see the Democrats actually picking up Kansas, which would mean they hold 1 out of the 2 Senate seats and a governor's seat, which would be big in a traditionally red state like Kansas. So Kansas, 46 right now goes to the Republicans at this point in time. 46 Democrats and 45 Republicans. It's getting close. We're going to be doing Texas, Iowa, going down into the south, up into the northeast. We've got Michigan to talk about. There's a lot of still remaining Senate races, 9 Senate races that we're still going to be looking at. So I hope everyone is having a good day, and thank you for watching, and cheers, fun election predictions.